Sandton City, in the middle of the golden mile of Johannesburg, seems a very appropriate place to come with a Porsche. And not any Porsche either, the Panamera Sport Tourer. The Panamera has been around for a couple of years, being Porsche's large four-door sedan, which has got some similarity in profile to the 911, of course. And this is the second generation, which was recently launched. And in fact, the Sport Tourer version, as opposed to the standard one, which you'll see with a slightly extended roofline at the back. So it's almost a shooting brake, as they would have termed it in some terminology in the past. You can see this is a large, long, four-wheel, four-door sedan. It really is a luxury executive limousine almost, round to a very, very spacious boot area, which you can see over here. Lots of room in there. Of course, you can drop seats, you can do things like that if you should so wish, but it does depend on you. But all the space you want, and you have the compressor unit over here and a little bit of extra hiding space down under the boot as well. Magnificently finished everywhere, which of course is what you'd expect from Porsche. And you do have the button you press to close the boot, which shows you, of course, now the legend, the 4S, meaning it is the slightly higher powered version with a 2.9 litre twin turbo V6 engine, putting out 324 kilowatts, 550 Newton meters of torque out of this engine. The four exhausts over here at the back, you can see, they certainly mean business. And they tell you that this may be a luxury sedan, but boy oh boy does it have the performance. The spoiler up top over here, which you can set to either stay up like that, or if you want it down and giving you the profile, increasing downforce. It's items like this that just make this car very, very special. Let's take a look at the driver's seat first and see what we think there. Behind the wheel of this Porsche Panamera is really a very, very special place to be. You can just see everything around you exudes luxury, exudes class, and exudes quality. There is no doubt about that. You look at this unbelievable, massive center screen over here, which shows you everything you want. Obviously, we're on USB at the moment, but you look at the screen for navigation, just for example, and you can see the size of the screen over there. It really is impressive. The navigation works brilliantly. I was most impressed by it. You come down to the center console over here, and you've got what they term haptic switches over here, where you simply press on there and it changes on the screen, obviously, and you can change everything you want. Your climate control, your volume. You do have a choice of using this little controller knob, or you can use the buttons, or you can use touch screen. You absolutely have every choice you want to make on this. It is absolutely incredible. You go to climate, for example, as well, and it gives you all your climate settings. Everything you can possibly want. On car over here, you look over here, you can adjust your air spring height, your chassis can adjust, your multi-mode. Now this is something very special on the multi-mode, and there's actually a little knob on the steering wheel over here, which shows you the multi-mode over here, down here. And you simply turn it and rotate the knob. Now that goes into sport mode, for example. You go to Sport Plus, or there's even an individual. I think you can even hear the sound of the exhaust changing as I do it, or individual over there. Unbelievable. But what's also incredible is that when you do change modes, it also alters over here, and it shows it's adjusting the chassis as well and adjusting the suspension, all those items as well. But if you want Sport Plus, but you want to be in comfort suspension or chassis setting, you simply press that button and it goes back to that. So that's the individual factor that you can do. There's the button, as I said, for the spoiler if you want to have it up or down. It's a choice you can make. Coming back to the dashboard itself and to the instrumentation and the instrument panel, another feature that the car does offer you that is quite amazing, you can see over here showing average fuel consumption. That's in the last little while, that's just in heavy traffic. You can ignore that figure over there. But what is also incredible is there's a little rotary knob over here that if I simply scroll this knob, I can adjust what readout I want on the screen over there, and you can have all your different knobs, G-force, Sport Chrono, because this car's got that Sport Chrono pack, or even your navigation repeated over there. And you can do the same with on the other side as well. If I had to show you everything on this car, I think this video would be 2 hours long. But again, you've got your controls over here. You've got your gear shift, 8-speed automatic gearbox that is so smooth, you never feel a gear shift at all in this vehicle, even if you're driving it in a little bit of anger and giving a little bit of go in it. But then again, a car like this is also for the family. So let's see what it would be like if maybe you were being chauffeur driven, or if you were one of those poor people being relegated to the rear seat. Moving into the rear, you can see this is a large luxury car. Tons and acres of space for me, both headroom and legroom. This rear is pretty much designed for two. You could put a third person in the middle if you really want, but with this very large console over here, it's not going to be too comfortable. And speaking of the large console, this car actually has 4-zone climate control, so your rear passengers can certainly make themselves comfortable and at home in here. But there is no complaint, and I've had passengers in the rear on this test, and they certainly have been very, very comfortable and very happy. Now, unfortunately, you always have to talk price on a car. And this car comes in at a base price of just on 1.7 million rand for the 4S Sport Turismo. But I've got here some of the extras on this particular car, and I'm going to read you a couple of the extras because it does make a difference, and you can see some of them. You're seeing the dual panoramic roofs at the moment, the front one which opens, the rear one which simply has a screen that slides across it, and you would pay an extra 36,000 rand for the panoramic roof system. It also has the special upgraded black leather interior and smooth finish leather, 61,000 rand for that. You have park assist including surround view and overhead view, 24,000 rand there. This particular car has rear axle steering as well, which adds to it, and let me tell you, certainly makes a difference to the road holding. Sport Chrono package I mentioned earlier would set you back 32,000 rand, and it does have special 20-inch Panamera design wheels as well. So this particular car we're in right now would set you back 1.94 million rand. But what price would you put on the exclusivity of a Porsche, especially a Panamera and the Sport Tourer? What price would you put on the performance this car offers with that 324 kilowatts that I mentioned earlier from the twin-turbo 2.9-litre V6? This is one of those cars. I haven't even mentioned the exclusivity of a car like this. This is a luxury car. Within the first few moments of driving it, I understood why this is the 2018 South African Car of the Year. Smoothness, like you will not believe when you're cruising, when you're on the highways. It is among the smoothest cars I've driven. Just overall, a very, very special experience. And if you are a buyer looking for a large executive four-door sedan, then this certainly has to be on your list. You would be crazy not to look at it. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R, and at the end of a very, very, very special test, I'll see you next time.